Good evening, everybody. Welcome to All About Sports, and today I'll be giving you my Ballon d'Or rankings 1 to 5 right now after the Champions League games that have happened recently. Obviously, I'll give you the favorites who are the bookies' favorites. Obviously, there's the likes of Salah, Dembele, there's obviously Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, all these players. You could even put in maybe a Lewandowski there. You can put in I think someone who's disrespected a lot. I haven't heard his names come up in this conversation. Pedri, who I think has been absolute class for Barcelona this season. Many more too. You could bring on some Inter Milan players, Lautaro Martinez, who I also think is having a fantastic season. But let's start off with Mo Salah. Let us start off with Mo Salah. Now, Mo Salah's having an exceptional Premier League season. It's shown by stats, the greatest Premier League's individual season from a player. Obviously breaking the Thierry Henry and Erling Haaland's goal involvement record. He's obviously going for the top one right now, who I think is either Andy Cole or Alan Shearer. But he's close to that. Obviously, he's close to breaking Thierry Henry and Kevin De Bruyne's record, which has been held for a very long time. 20 assists in a single season. Obviously, 20 assists in a season. And obviously, he's won the Premier League title with Liverpool. Now, Mo Salah will be in my top 5, maybe even top 3. But I do not think Mo Salah deserves to win the Ballon d'Or this season. I think the Ballon d'Or is basically specified as you do your league performances, individual performances, league performances, cup, and also cup performances. And I don't think Mo Salah has been there in those cup performances. Obviously, you'll talk about Carabao Cup. I'm guessing the early stages, he didn't need to be there. He was being readied for the Premier League. But that final, he wasn't there. Against Liverpool, Livramento locked them up basically. Didn't do anything. Liverpool ended up going on to lose that game. FA Cup, obviously, there's nothing much he could do there. They played the kids. They ended up losing. But then the biggest one of them, the Champions League, where his rival, who I've been classed as one of the favorites, Ousmane Dembele, performed when they played Liverpool versus PSG. But Mo Salah, both games, wasn't involved. It didn't impact the game in any way. And that's where I think Mo Salah has dropped on my list. I'd really want a Premier League player to win it again, but I just don't think Mo Salah has been in the Premier League. He's been absolutely phenomenal. I've seen people say put him Ballon d'Or. He's carried Liverpool to the Premier League. That's why there's a PFA Player of the Year. It's not carrying in the Premier League doesn't give you a Ballon d'Or, and we've seen it in the past. People call the Premier League the greatest league. Erling Haaland was here, broke records. He still couldn't get it. There's just levels. You need to know when to perform. Obviously, Erling Haaland then didn't score in the semi-final or the final. I'm not using that as like an excuse that Salah can't win it too, but I think those are the levels. You perform in the Champions League. You perform well. Even if you go out, you at least perform well so they know he did everything he could do. And I don't think Mo Salah did that. In the Prem, he's having an extraordinary season. But I don't even know who could have that season. The record he ends up getting at the end of the season, I don't think could ever be broken again. That's how good I think it is. But in those stages in the Champions League, in the final, in the League Cup, he didn't get it done. So I think he's dropped on my list right now. And then next I want to talk about is his compatriot who I was talking about, Ousmane Dembele. Ousmane Dembele has really reignited his career. Obviously, he had the likes of Mbappe, all of them there. obviously maybe overshadowed, but now the PSG look like a real team. I could see why he's flourishing. Obviously, in the first part of the season, he was playing as like a right wing, left wing, but now Luis Enrique has kept him in the center as a center forward. His movement is brilliant. His goal that he took on Tuesday against Arsenal was brilliant. Ran through Arsenal's midfield like it wasn't there. Passed the ball to Kvara. Kvara ran, followed the he carried on running, followed the run, got to the edge of the box and sliced it home. I think in the game too, gave Saliba hell too. Even though Saliba, I think, did have a great game. I think he made Saliba think twice and stuff, which was brilliant from him. His movement was class. And I think I saw something he scored against Arsenal there, that now he has 45 goal involvements in 45 games. That is brilliant for a player of Ousmane Dembele. Everyone will talk about that Paris Saint-Germain. Obviously, they'll win their league, but in the Champions League, he's done it too. Against every English club. He scored against Man City, scored against Liverpool, scored against Arsenal, and assisted in both the games against Aston Villa. Those are all the English teams that were in the Champions League. He's done absolutely phenomenal recently. So I think it's well deserved. Excuse me, it's well deserved that he's there. Obviously, when they played Brest in the round of 16, absolutely slapped them up. No, that was in the playoffs. Round of 16, beat Liverpool. Now they're on course to beat Arsenal. So I think Dembele is a huge shout for the Ballon d'Or this season. And if PSG do go on to win the Champions League, I think he will lift the Ballon d'Or. Now, let's move on to the next one. Rafinha, I think is a I don't know how to say this. I think Rafinha's stats this season have been brilliant, but the games I have watched him, it looks like he's not getting much involved in the game. I think he's basically near the ends of like assists or goals and doesn't like impact the game as much as the Yamals, as the Dembeles that I see that impact the game more than just goals and assists. And I think that's where he has brilliance. Apparently, he's one away from equaling Ronaldo's record of goal involvement in the Champions League season. Rafinha currently has 20 goal involvements in the Champions League this season, which is absolutely phenomenal for him. Played a brilliant part in the Benfica win when they won, and when they ended up winning in like the last minute 4-3. He's been instrumental to that Barca side. He's obviously taken the armband in the summer from Hansi Flick chose him as the captain, and he hasn't disappointed ever since. La Liga he's performed, Copa del Rey performed, the finals against Real Madrid they've beaten Real Madrid. Rafinha's had a big part in that, and I think Rafinha is also a huge shout for the Ballon d'Or. Now let's move on to, I think after the last game, I think is now one of the like very favorites to go on and lift the Ballon d'Or, and he is the little boy from Rosario, Lamine Yamal. I don't even know what to say about this kid. 17 years old and he's twisting up grown men. DeMarco, who I rate very highly, Lamar was twisting him up like he was one of those like mannequins that you use in training. Just going past him. The game against Inter Milan, there was one right after he scored, sends DeMarco right to the shops, hits the bar. Lamine Yamal is just a player. 2 assists against Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey final. I think Lamine Yamal is really going to be the best player. I've heard culture cams, Leah's talking about that he's the best talent since like Neymar, and I think that's true. I don't think Mbappe was good at this age. So he's already played 100 games for Barcelona at the age of 17. Lionel Messi had, I think, 9 appearances. Ronaldo had like 17 appearances. He already has 100 appearances. He's nearly equaled Messi's record for Messi's 100 starts at the Messi's 100 starts in Barca and Lamine Yamal's 100 starts. Lamine Yamal is only 1 trophy down from Messi of the 100 starts. That's how good this guy's been. And Lamine Yamal was 17. Messi was older than that. Just imagine, this kid is really a joy to watch, really. He reminds me, obviously, I support City. I've seen City pass the ball around, pass the ball around. He takes on his defender. He isn't afraid. We saw TT ask him about it. He's not even afraid. He says, I'm not afraid. Why should I fear the occasion? He wants to perform always. He knows his ability and he'll work on it. That's how good he is. But wow. This Lamine Yamal is really going to be a player. I'm not going to lie to you. And after that game, Rafinha didn't perform in. He took his goal brilliantly. He had probably the best 45 minutes I've seen from a player in a long time. That's how good it was. Twisting up. And an Inter side, people need to remember, an Inter side that don't concede a lot of goals. Lamine Yamal was just running through their defense like they weren't there. That's how good he was. And I think he is in the forefront for the Ballon d'Or at the moment. And one more person I'd like to speak on is obviously Pedri, who I think is an absolute class player. I saw his game against Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey final. That first half performance, him and Frankie de Jong, how he took his goal was just exceptional. He is really generational. I'm not sure what happened to him recently though, in terms of, I think he had an injury or something that put him out for a while. But now he looks like he's back to his best, and Barcelona are basically on course to win that treble. If they do, that Ballon d'Or ranking could be looking Yamal, Rafinha, Pedri in any order you want it. That's how it could be looking if Barca do end up winning the treble. So this Ballon d'Or is really hard to predict. I think whoever wins the Champions League, obviously if Inter or Arsenal go on to win the Champions League, I think out of PSG or Barcelona, whoever go closest, I think their player will end up going through. And I think that just that performance Yamal put in yesterday was brilliant. If they do get knocked out, I think he still has a good chance of winning that Ballon d'Or with that performance he's put in from yesterday. I think there's nothing much to say. Obviously, there are still many you could talk about. Maybe Harry Kane. Obviously, he got knocked out last round, but his goals have been brilliant. He's about to win the Bundesliga. You can talk about Salah. You can talk about Van Dijk, who I think has been class this season too. There's just many people, but I think it's either going to be a Barcelona or PSG player, because the way they've performed recently has been absolutely phenomenal. Luis Enrique has really changed that PSG side, that mentality. And mind you, if PSG do win that Champions League and Mbappe has just left PSG, Real Madrid don't, and his best friend Dembouz wins that Ballon d'Or, hey, Mbappe will not be happy. That's all I gotta say. Mbappe will not be happy. Mbappe will be making calls. People are already speculating he made calls that so Vinicius couldn't win it, the Ballon d'Or last season. Mbappe, you better hope PSG don't do this, because there will be blood on your hands. Guys, let me know down in the comments who you think is the forefront runner for the Ballon d'Or at the moment. Give me your top 3, top 5. Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Peace.